welcome back to this channel. So I still don't know what to talk about in this channel. So today I think I am going to read to you. This is going to be from a book that we had in school. It was a rapid reader. It was called Modern English Short Stories. And it was a book that was very dear to me because it had such lovely, lovely stories. I don't know where I lost that book, but I managed to find the ebook online. And I'm going to read a part of one of the stories I really loved. It's called Little Willow by Francis Towers, and I'm going to read a portion of it. I think the last bit of it. If you want to hang back and listen, I think you're going to love it. So you knew Simon Byrne, said Captain Oliver, looking down at her. I wonder, perhaps you could help me, Miss Avery. I was with him when he died. Have you perhaps a message for my sister? Asked Lesbie faintly, arranging little sprigs of heather on her knee. That's what I don't know, he said with a sigh. There's something I'd like to tell someone, but not the wrong person. Simon meant a great deal to me. Could you tell me, did she ever give him a little tree? A willow? I suppose it was one of those Chinese things. No, said Lesbie, very low. She never gave him anything. I'm going to tell you, said Captain Oliver, as if making a sudden decision. A secret would be safe with you, wouldn't it? He was badly hurt. His wound never healed. He was terribly ill all the time. But the odd thing was that through it all, he was never less than himself. They couldn't do anything to Simon. They couldn't strip him of a single one of his qualities. It was as if he had some inward source of happiness, a core of peace in his heart. The camp was short of doctors, and they were only too pleased to make use of me, so I was able to make things a little easier for him. I'm glad, she said, bent over our flowers, that he had you to look after him. The night before he died, went on Captain Oliver, in a low, deliberate voice. He dictated a letter to his mother in South Africa. He was a bit of a poet, you know. It was a very touching letter. I suppose she has it now, poor soul. I said, Is there no one else, Simon? He shook his head. There was a girl, he said, but she never knew she was my girl. I asked him to tell me about her, thinking it might comfort him. He said, She's a little quiet creature, like Mignonette, and her eyes go light and dark with her thoughts. I knew in my bones she was meant for me. Once when the pain was very bad, I thought she came and kissed me. I felt her cheek against mine. It was soft and cool, like a young bird's, as I always imagined it would be. And the pain went away and I went to sleep. You know, Robert, she wouldn't mind my dreaming that. She has such exquisite compassion. When I said goodbye, she gave me the loveliest thing she had, a little willow tree. It was smashed to bits in my kit when the shell got us. I thought to myself, perhaps she did care, that girl. He died toward morning, very peacefully, without speaking again. Lisby sat very still. So cold, she said, chafing her hands as if the hands of the dying lay between them. So you were his girl, said Robert Oliver. He was my dear, dear love, whispered Lisby. She bowed her head on her knees and wept soundlessly. He thought, it is sad for a girl when her first avowal of love has to be made to a third person. And going softly to the door, he turned the key in the lock and let himself out by the window. Lisby cried her eyes out after you left, wrote Brenda to Charlotte. But at night she looked so radiant, one might have thought it was her wedding day. There were dozens of letters for you by the end of the evening. I've sent them on, and some for me. I sorted them out and said, as one usually does, none for you, afraid, Lisby darling. She looked at me so strangely and said, I've had mine, one that was never written. What could she have meant? I said, what on earth do you mean? But I knew from the look on her face that it was one of those things she will never tell. I hope you like the story as much as I do. And if you want to hear more of these short stories, let me know in the comments. I would love to do this again.